Move on before we say goodbye. There's a big fight this weekend. ESPN Plus coming from the UK. Artur Beterbiev, arguably the scariest man in all of boxing. He's 18-0 with 18 knockouts. He's taking on Anthony Yarde, who also has a long list of knockouts himself. This one's not going the distance. This one is surefire, inside the distance knockout. I think it will be Beterbiev. I'm kind of shocked by the amount of people that are giving Yarde a chance in this fight. I think his best chance is blitzing Beterbiev, kind of like what Joe Smith did. But we all saw what happened in that fight. Joe Smith got taken out pretty quickly. So if Yarde does blitz Beterbiev, he might be able to catch him a few shots because Yarde is heavy-handed. But I just think he's just going to meet his fate of getting the 19th man to be knocked out by Beterbiev. What are your initial thoughts on this matchup?
I like the matchup for one. I think like you said, it's a shootout with two big punchers, two aggressive guys. I don't think it's going to be hard for them to find each other, and that spells disaster for Anthony Yarde. Beterbiev is a destroyer, and I think whether it happens early or it happens late, I think it happens, and I think it's Beterbiev by knockout. But it'll be fun for as long as it lasts, however long it lasts. But you said that Beterbiev is the scariest man in boxing, but listen, he's been down. He leaves himself open at times. His chin has been checked a few times. He's been down. He's gotten up to win, of course, and score knockouts because he has 100% knockout percentage. But yeah, I mean, there is a path to victory, but to get through the power of Beterbiev to get to that victory is, I don't know. I don't see Anthony Yarde doing it.
Over on DraftKings Sportsbook app, over 6.5 rounds, minus 110, under 6.5 rounds, minus 120. I'm trying to see if they can got Beterbiev to win by KO is plus 200. Kind of like that right there. I put some money on that one, some plus money on a Beterbiev KO. Yeah, the one I'm trying to find things where you can find some weaknesses of Beterbiev. I would say two things. Pretty inactive over the last couple of years. Seems like his body's breaking down a little bit. He's 37 years old. 2 fights in 2019, 0 fights in 2020, 2 fights in 2021, only 1 fight last year. He did go down against, I think it was Callum Johnson, right?
Yeah, and he went down once before that as well.
And once down before that. But Callum Johnson was the most notable knockdown that he suffered.
Yeah, left hook on the inside.
Keep in mind, I went back and watched that fight. He outlanded Johnson 41-17 after the knockdown.
Yeah.
And then ended up knocking him out. Also knocked Johnson down in the first round, too. So, hey, you want to be a knockout guy, you got to be willing to stand and trade. Like, we thought that Joe Smith was going to be able to catch him. But I think Joe Smith had probably a very bad game plan in that fight. So I think I'll stick with it that Yarde will have to cautiously blitz Beterbiev. How does that happen? How does Yarde win this fight?
Okay, so I did a breakdown for this actually. I don't know if we're gonna actually air it or not. But so Anthony Yarde, he can win the fight because the guy can punch, especially with the right hand. And Beterbiev has been down by a right hand. He's also been down by a left hook. He was down by a right hand in that first fight. I think he knocked out that same round. I can't remember the guy's name off the top of my head. But the Callum Johnson fight, he got hit with a left hook on the inside because Beterbiev is an offensive machine. When he gets going, it takes a little bit to get going. But once he gets going, man, he's looking for knockouts on every shot. And he has a tendency to get tall. He gets so aggressive on his shots on the inside. He likes to fight on the inside. He's actually a pretty good inside fighter, but there are holes there because he gets tall and he drops that right hand because he's looking to throw his own hooks. So if Yarde can keep him at a distance and not let him cut off the ring and make the ring very small, because Beterbiev is very good at that. He's got a good jab. He stalks guys, and he makes the ring very small. You don't have a lot of room. If he can stay calm, keep that distance, explode with the right hand from the outside, he has a really good 3-2. So he throws left hook, then the overhand right, which I think could potentially land. And that is his best punch. But I think on the inside is where Beterbiev is most vulnerable. If he can throw those lunging, explosive shots and then keep his head on the inside, be smart, keep your earmuffs on, and look for the opening to throw the left hook, there is a path to victory that way, strategically, if we're talking X's and O's. But, again, like I said, he's got to have to get through the Beterbiev jab, and every punch that guy throws is hard and has bad intentions on it, and he can knock you out with either hand.
Beterbiev has never seen the 12th round. Yarde's last 21 wins have all been by knockout. I love fights like this, puncher versus
Oh yeah,
puncher. Um, if Yard does win, that's got to be one of the best wins of the last like 5 years.
huge upset, I think, and yeah, I mean that'll turn the division on its head. And then I don't think, I mean, I don't know. Bivol, he's chasing. It seems like he's back to chasing that Canelo fight, or not that he ever really did, but he's that Canelo fight might happen. But I want to see undisputed. I want to see, if Yard is to win that fight, I think Bivol and him makes sense.
Yeah, that's like the nature of being a fight fan. It's like I want to see like obviously let the best man win. If Yard can find a way to beat Beterbiev, all that's great. That's the beauty of sport. But it does kind of spoil one of the best three fights you can make in boxing right now, and that would be a
Yeah.
Beterbiev-Bivol fight. Although I don't see a path how that fight gets made this year, unfortunately.
Hmm.
With Canelo coming back in May, it looks like against Ryder. I think Bivol will probably fight sometime around then, and then they're really really talking about this Bivol Canelo rematch, but at 168. So now Bivol's going down to 168. He's leaving the weight class. I don't understand why Bivol would do that. I don't understand why Canelo would allow himself to kind of get that rematch with like an asterisk, with not on Bivol's terms. But it's up to Bivol if he wants to do that because that's more money for him. I'm not going to fault him for that. But obviously, all fans want to see Beterbiev-Bivol, but politics are getting in the way.
As per usual.
Politics as
And
usual.
boxing has a tendency to drag out these fights that everyone wants, and listen, over time things can happen, and pitfalls happen, and fights never happen, or don't happen, or don't occur because of everything that happened in between, and we see it all the time. And it's just an unfortunate pitfall for boxing. It's something that we've known that boxing shoots itself in the foot on a regular basis, and we don't get the fights that everyone wants.
I think Bivol Beterbiev that's a top three fight in boxing. Would you agree?
Love that fight. Love that fight. I think, yeah, I agree. I think that's, if you ask me what fights I really want to see this year, or really as soon as possible, that's high on the list.
Yeah. So Beterbiev Yard, it's going to be on ESPN Plus. Afternoon fight. Love those over here in the U.S. because it frees up your
Yep.
Saturday night. Thought we were going to get an all-time Saturday where we get Beterbiev Yard in the afternoon and then Charlo Zoo at night. There'll be more of those this year where we get these doubleheader. Oh, did you see this? This has nothing to do with this fight, but did you see that Zilhai Zhang is fighting Joe Joyce?
I did not.
April 16th.
Love that fight.
That right there got me way more excited than it should have.
Love that fight.
Got fight fans excited. I tweeted about it and got a ton of people interacting with it because people know that is a
Good fight.
it's not like either guy is close to a champ. Actually, Joyce is pretty close. It's not like either like there's no title on the line. It's not the biggest names, but fans know that when they watch that fight, Zhang is always in like fun, wacky, quirky fights, and Joyce is. I think he's one of the most exciting guys to watch in boxing right now. That fight's going to be insane.
And that fight is very meaningful because the winner of that fight, I mean, it's a big risk for Joyce because he's
Right.
really gotten himself into a really good position for getting one of the big guys in the ring. And Zhang recently, he's been fighting like a man possessed. He knows that his opportunity may be slipping, so he's taking every chance that he can. Huge opportunity for him because a big win there gets him in with in the talks with the big guys. Yeah, but I think either way, I think it's a fun fight. Zhang is a very powerful guy. His straight left hand is a dangerous shot. Good, very well schooled fighter. Tough as nails. And Joe Joyce, we've talked about him many times in the show. He is
The
really
juggernaut.
impressed as of recently. The guy gets hit a ton, but he's a super athletic guy and he throws a million punches. I mean, what's not to like about this fight?
Yeah, April 16th. That could be on the afternoon, setting up for Ryan Garcia, Tank Davis at night in Vegas. That could be a really fun day. Some really good fights coming down starting in the spring. There's some good ones in February, but it's really going to pick up in April. I'm looking forward to this Beterbiev Yard fight. What's your final prediction? I got Beterbiev. I think he KOs him under 6.
Yeah, that's a safe bet.
See what it is.
I have a suspicion that we could see more than 6. I could see Anthony Yarde using his athleticism, his explosiveness to move around the ring a little bit and to stretch it out. And I think he goes down a few times, but I think he's got some dog in him, and he tries to get up and put and make a run for it. But I think he'll finally succumb in those middle rounds.
Artur Beterbiev to win in rounds 7 through 12 plus 230. That might be the play here, because him to win in rounds 1 through 6 is minus 105. So Vegas is kind of agreeing with you here that Yarde might be able to get into the second half of the fight, especially if Beterbiev starts slow
and athletic enough.
Yeah, and he's got a good jab, and that can kind of neutralize Beterbiev. And Beterbiev is a slow starter, and that's what I think that Joe Smith saw, is the numbers that Beterbiev doesn't throw as much in those first 2 rounds, and then he picks it up and he eventually settles into like the 70 punches per round, which is insane for a guy that big. And I think that Smith was like, I'm going to come out and blitz him. Backfired.
So, you know what I think happened with the Joe Smith fight? Joe actually has a very good jab. He's very technical. I've known Joe since he was a teenager in the New York amateur scene. But he's got a very good jab. He's good technically. Obviously, he's a very good puncher. He's very strong. Always has been. But I remember I've talked about this on the show before. Sometimes you get hit with shots that maybe from the outside we don't see, but hurt you and changes the way you fight. I think Beterbiev's jab hurt Joe early on more than we actually saw. I saw it, but and I think that kind of changed the game plan. He's like, all right, we're in a fight. We got to go now, and I got to try and blitz him. I think Joe was probably going to come out and try and box more, because Joe always tries to box, and then if a fights break out, and he knocks you out. But yeah, I think that he was rocked by the jab and early on, and went into fight or flight mode, and I think he got caught that way, which could happen to Anthony Yarde as well.
Love the fight. That's the big one this weekend. That is our show this week. Enjoy the call. Enjoy Plant City. Get it out of there unscathed, Chris. Keep your head on a swivel.
I will try. The first time I ran the entire length of Plant City yesterday, a 6.5 mile run. I won't be doing that again. Let's just say that.
All right, friends. Protect yourselves at all times. Keep your hands up at all times. Stay out of those DMs. We out.